do a little recap for some inspiration. Would we like to make this a group effort?
We killed some will-o'-the-wisps and then met our neighbors. And I have little notes on each one of them. There's the Tiger's Eye, Private Eye, with Vincent Trench. There's Bookworm's Treasure with Rashal the Page Turner, who may be stuck there. There's the Bent Nail, with Tally Fellbranch, who seems real chill. Corellin's Crown, the Alchemist, with Thala Laufire, a florist and chemist. And then there's the blacksmith that we don't know anything about except that there are 2 people in it.
Right.
And that they have chemistry, apparently.
Yeah.
And one item that you didn't mention that I think is probably important is not only did you kill some will-o'-the-wisps in your new manor house, but you also met an individual that turned out to be the previous proprietor.
Oh yeah, Leaf.
Who seems very excited, both that you are reopening, at least planning on reopening some sort of business here, and that you have dispatched the will-o'-the-wisps. Similarly, you have agreed to the Castellanter's terms, and they are Rear Neverember is taking responsibility for the fees related to making this place livable for y'all, and the Castellanters are taking responsibility for all of the costs and initial guild charges that must be paid so that y'all can get a business open. Making this place livable should really only take a day or two. It's most of it's just cleaning and replacing some windows and getting it ready to run as a business. The Castellanters said they expect to have it done in about a 10-day. They took their leave with Volo in tow, attempting to continue to talk their ears off, which I guess is good news because he won't be talking your ears off right now. Similarly, you also got to interact a little bit with the man, the myth, the legend, Zardoz Zod.
Going to a party on a boat. Boat party!
Yeah!
Party on a boat.
Has invited you to the Sea Maidens Fair. And that is where we left off. Max, give yourself some inspiration. And let's figure out what we want to do next. The fair's going on for at least a couple evenings, right? You can, if you want to sleep in this manor house, it's been a long day for y'all. I don't know if you recall, but you started this day in the sewers.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So it has been a long day.
Wait, no, I thought we had one long rest after that. Because that was when
that's
Persona got
correct.
hammered.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That's correct. Right. And so it still been a long day. You found yourselves unexpected landowners. And so the choice is yours. You can either celebrate that land ownership by blowing off some steam at the fair and seeing what Zardoz is up to in sort of his home turf, or you can call it a night in your house and deal with that possibility or any other number of possibilities tomorrow.
Nim wants to go and follow up on this invitation.
Oh, yeah.
Hermione wants
I
to
didn't,
party.
I didn't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be the one that said, let's stay home or go out.
Okay.
I feel it would be rude to refuse or even delay such an invitation.
That's
Although-
exactly right. That's exactly why. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, shit, we got
Counterpoint,
voices.
we could spend the evening with our newest member, Leaf. That is also an option. I don't know if we're in the main area. Leaf, do you sleep? I assume not, because you are in your current state, but I just figured it best to ask.
He
One
knocks
knock
twice.
for yes. Two, okay, there we go.
Ah, shit. That's yes?
Son of a... My roll 12.
God, we
keeps
gotta get
crashing.
him like a
Sorry.
chalkboard or something. So, I want to go get fucked up.
Agreed. And I think there will be plenty of opportunities for us to spend nights here with Leaf and play cards or whatever. But it just holds up the flyer. This is just very interesting.
The broom begins sweeping back and forth across the floor and starts, Corsonis starts pushing at your feet and pushing you towards the door.
Oh, wait, I was just I was being... Oh, right. Seems unnecessarily
He
insistent.
on a bit of dust by the entryway door, you see what is now sort of common for you. Some letters being traced in it, and it just says all clean.
All right, appreciate it. Enjoy your evening.
He starts smashing your feet with the broom again.
All right, remind me not to be nice to you anymore. I will walk up.
As you're walking out, you hear him bang twice on the wall.
Huh?
I'll follow. I'll leave.
Yeah, let's get up out of here.
Hi, Naya. We're headed to a fair.
We finna fucked up.
Festival time.
Okay. The fair is down in the dock ward, which means at the very least, Piety and Nim, you guys know that area pretty well.
Hell yeah.
Nim in particular, you know it quite well, so you have no problem getting down there. As you travel, it's the sun is setting. It's sort of twilight. It's the sky's starting to have that nice magic hour glow to it. There are a fair number of guards out on the street, particularly in the dock ward that seems to... Their number grows in frequency as you get deeper and deeper into the dock ward. However, as you approach the specific dock that this little flyer points out, the guard population disappears entirely. And you find yourselves in an area of the docks that have essentially been cordoned off so that they can, the members of the Sea Maidens Fair can control access in and out. And as you approach the main gate, you see a skinny, pimple-faced human, sort of a bob cut, loose white blouse, and just says, "Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Sea Maidens Fair, where you get to experience what it's like to be a sea maiden." And he gestures in towards the fairgrounds. It's not all fun and games being a member of the Sea Maiden Traveling Fair. It's hard work. And we've got several games that you can play to see if you too have what it takes to be a sea maiden. It'll be 5 silver pieces for entrance. And at that, you hear some kerfuffle, right, coming from behind him, right? And the first thing you see are a familiar pair of thigh-high red boots charging forward, right? And Zardoz, "Crixus, get out of the way, get out of the way. We're not going to charge these heroes to come into the fair. Please, they're my guests. Come in, come in, come in." And Naya, absolutely, you can change out your spells, and I believe you actually need to level up at some point. Let me take a look at your sheet. You do need to level up at some point. The good news is that not absolutely critical right at this moment. So you can either do it yourself, right? Give it a shot, which is not a bad idea. Or if you just don't feel comfortable doing that, I can certainly help you out during the break. Sound good? And thank you, Oni, for posting a picture of your host for this evening. As you're ushered in, what you see are a variety of tents and stalls, and there's a small stage that's set up. Somebody is shooting fireworks off of one or perhaps both of these ships, but they are not remotely impressive. It's like one sad firework, and then 2 or 3 minutes go by and another sad firework launches itself off into the water. It's still pretty. It's not super dark, but it's dark enough that you can see some reflection in the water, and you hear a loud pop. And Zardoz explains, well, we've got, any number of fair games and sort of gambling attractions that you might like, but the main the main drawers for the carnival are the Chug and Charm, which is a storytelling contest, a pie eating contest, a game of carry the keg, a simulation of walking the plank, and the big crowd pleaser, musical chairs.
Thank you for
I
the
am so
very
ready.
gracious invitation. Um, I don't. There's so much. Where does everyone want to begin? Who has never been to a festival like this before? Or I suppose is the best question.
Heidi kind of half raises their hand. Can't remember.
You've never been to a festival before.
I mean, not like this. I mean, I kind of
Yeah,
just
certainly not like one like this.
Mother-
yeah.
Wait, and what was your name again?
Heidi.
Piety. Sure. And Exidia, right?
Yeah. Hey, you're
Hmm.
probably a shoe-in for the pie eating contest because your name's like Pie Eaty.
I really I gotta do it. I gotta
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
now. Didn't you pitch that for a nickname for me like a couple days ago? I have to. I gotta.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, if you'd like, you could walk around a bit and see what else is here. The Chug and Charm starts in about 15 minutes. The pie eating contest is after that. As you can see, there's a fair number of people walking around with pirate hats and eye patches. And as you look around, you in fact see maybe 15% of the adults are walking around with like an eye patch on. And when I say eye patch, it's like a piece of string and a piece of cardboard. Like it's not anything fancy or that would last more than a couple hours tops, right? And similarly, like a paper hat that's folded to look sort of like a pirate hat, each one with a giant feather like coming off of it.
Oh yeah.
They're all participating in the pirate hour. If you'd like to see if you'd make it as a pirate on shore leave, so to speak, they're engaged in a little game of subterfuge. Next one starts in about 45 minutes.
I have
And-
minor illusion, an ostentatious hat, and an eye patch onto myself.
Okay. It's very well done, but you might want to be careful wearing that here in the fair.
Will do.
Yeah, so here's what we've got. We've got these 5 games: the Chug and Charm, the Pie Eating Contest, the Carry the Keg, Walk the Plank, and Musical Chairs, right? That they all happen once. They're sort of, in addition to being games, they're also sort of, well, 4 of them are spectator sports. The Walk the Plank is happening over and over, and you can hear actually coming from down here, right? You can hear every now and then just people or an individual screaming really loud, right? Heave! And then a little bit of time goes by, and then again, heave! And that's just sort of a repeated chorus. There's a food area with a couple different vendors. There's a guy of all things making carnitas that doesn't seem very popular. There's a stall that just reads, "You find it, we fry it." And they do offer if you take a closer look, they have a menu of things that they have on hand to fry, but they'll also fry just about anything you give them for a price. And as such, there are actually a fair number of people with fishing rods just trying to catch themselves a cheap dinner. But by far, the biggest attraction in terms of foodstuffs, there are just tons and tons of people that are eating these snow cones. You see them everywhere. Yeah, and there's a couple, I guess, simpler games. There's a couple gambling games if you'd like to try your hand at making some coin.
I'm dead set on musical chairs.
Okay.
Well, that's an obvious no-brainer, but that's a little ways in, right?
Yeah. Yes, that's sort of the big finale of the evening. People like to gather. We get the whole. Well, you've seen the band. We get the whole band together. It's a bit of a dance, a bit of a performance. People, both contestants and observers, really love it.
Okay.
Well, why don't you make yourselves at home? Enjoy whatever you like. And why don't we meet up? There's the Chug and Charm and the pie eating contest. Why don't we meet up after that? And those of you that are still hungry, we can have a little meal and catch up. And then we can enjoy the rest of the fair. How does that sound?
Incredibly generous. If he like wanders off, I'll turn to everyone else and just kind of say excitedly, I'm not actually much of a storyteller, but I'm really interested in participating in that particular activity. I think it would be raucously dangerous and deeply fun.
You know, Chug and Charm sounds pretty fun, right? But I think I need to stay prepared for the musical chairs.
I'm game to participate in everything. I mean, we're guests. We're here. Should we? Would it be rude if we were advertising our upcoming build? What is our up? Never mind. That's pointless. Let's just participate in everything.
Hey, fuck it.
What is the closest activity to us? And
Um,
also, how easy would it be to get one of those snow cones?
okay. Getting a snow cone is easy. It's going to take a little bit because there's a long line, right? And you can see why there's a long line when you realize what's going on. Actually, well, I'm not going to make anybody roll. You're all, with the exception of Kaz, you're all magic users. There are a couple individuals, right, that have clearly used the shape water spell to freeze a 5-foot block of water, right? And there's a couple more that are using prestidigitation to flavor the shavings off of this block of ice to whatever flavor you request, right? And the benefit is, well, these snow cones stay frozen for an hour.
That's
Right,
really
and-
fucking good.
Wait,
that's
smart.
that kind of fucks.
And so people are really excited about the snow cones. But it's only 5 copper. I mean, it's cheap. You want to wait. Now, not surprisingly, right? These people not being idiots, right across from the line for these snow cones are the following 2 games. There's a very simple game of spin the wheel, right? It's actually 3 wheels, right? Each with numbers 1 through 6 on them, right? You lay down a bet on which number is going to come up. If your number comes up, you win double your bet. If your number comes up on 2 wheels, you win triple your bet. And if your number comes up on 3 wheels, on all 3 wheels, you win 4 times the amount that you bet. Additionally, there's another booth, another set of booths actually, that just have like plates, like, maybe 3 or 4 feet back from, the barrier keeping the participants out. And people are chucking primarily copper pieces at these plates. And the rules are simple. You can throw copper pieces or silver pieces. If you throw a copper piece and it lands on a plate, you win half of the coins that are on that plate. And if you throw a silver piece and it lands on the plate, you win all of the coins that are on that plate. And what you see, the dynamic that you see here, is there are lots of families that are waiting in line to get these quite delicious and long-lasting snow cones, right? And kids and sometimes adults are running back and forth, right? Kids running back and forth to and from their parents, begging for more coins that they can either go throw at these plates or put on a number. And so these sort of gambling games are doing a pretty bang up business. And that's where you all find yourselves. Anybody interested in trying a little gambling while you're waiting for any of these snow cones? Or do we just want to get snow cones?
I definitely will gamble some of my money away.
Didn't your brother just get out of debtor's prison?
Look, worst comes to worst.
You join him?
I lose a silver. It's not like I'm betting 9,000 gold right now.
Do you have 9,000 gold? Guys.
I fucking wish. I just saw the khakis I just had on. I finally have some color in them now. So I gotta go get changed.
You just ask somebody at the booth, and they have more than enough change. Which game are you playing?
The plates.
Okay. Do you want silver or do you want copper?
Silver.
Okay. How many gold are you changing in?
How many gold? 3 gold. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 30 silver.
Yeah, I'm going a little crazy right now.
Okay, great. Here are the rules. The game's simple. You roll a d20, you need a natural 20.
Okay.
Right, for this to land on the plate, right? If it lands on a plate, you roll let's make it a D100, right?
Okay.
And you roll a D100, that's how many copper pieces are on it, and you roll a D20, that's how many silver pieces are on it.
Okay. And quick question, 'cause I just want to know now. I'm a rogue.
Mm-hmm.
I have cunning actions. Can I steady aim with my coin?
No, because not surprisingly, right? These games are not fair. Right? So, I mean, there are things that one could do, right? You risk getting thrown out of the fair for doing them.
I'm gonna say I can summon an invisible mage hand that no one can know that I have up, but man.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely one of the things that could be done that would give you an enormous advantage, right? However, you've then got to count on the fact that no one here is going to recognize that that is what is being done. No one here, when not 20 feet away, there are at least 4 people using shape water and prestidigitation.
Yeah,
right.
I get that. With telekinetic, the hand is invisible and it has no components. I can literally just. But Corsonis is also not willing to cheat.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about the idea of like using like Mage Hand Ledger Main. Not that I have it or anything.
Right.
But like a coin being carried by a Mage Hand definitely looks different than one being thrown.
Right. I mean,
not to carry, to catch it at the
Right.
plate.
Right. Your
Like,
best bet
yeah.
it would be like using the hand as like a backstop or something. But even that, for people that run this game all day, every day. But yeah, you can start chucking coins, or if you decide that the odds aren't in your favor and would rather throw it down on the spin the wheel game, it's right next door.
The odds are forever in my favor. Look at this. Okay,
All right,
should I
let's roll some
30?
D20s and see what happens.
Just do all 30 because it like shows them in there.
Sure, yeah, if that's how you want to do it.
Yeah, because I'm going to bet it all.
All right, great.
That 20. There it is. I see it right there.
my
It took me a
God.
lot.
There's at least one.
It took me a lot, but I got one.
All right, cool beans. So that's a D100 for the copper and a D20 for the silver.
I watch this, guys. Okay. Maybe this wasn't worth it. So.
Okay.
Oh no!
Yeah, that D20 hurts.
I just watch Kaz lose coin after coin and tisk every time.
Heidi's on the other side of him, and every time goes, "No, next time you'll get it.
It's the
You got it."
saddest fucking
You got
shit, but it's the biggest part. Fucking finally!
But it is hilarious just seeing those numbers like all set out here in front of us, and like I know it's different whenever you're like in person playing the game, but you did just spend 3 gold to get back like 4 silver.
Right.
Like,
You know,
it's the fun of playing.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's true pain in the heart.
Lovely.
Anybody else either interested in playing either of those games right now, or if you want to get yourself a snow cone, just mark 5 copper off of your inventory, and
I'm definitely here for a snow cone, but I will throw 2 gold on the spin the wheel game.
okay, what number are you picking, or are you picking different numbers for each gold piece?
No, I want to put it all in one.
Okay. Anybody else
Um,
playing? Okay, sounds like you're spinning those wheels. Roll 3d6.
All right. I guess it doesn't matter exactly which number I pick. We can just say 6 since it's all the same.
Well, right. I mean, which number do you want to pick? You can pick any number.
I'll just pick 3 then.
Okay, so you're putting 2 gold on 3. Great. Well,
So I
You
get 4 gold.
right. So you get 4 gold. Easy peasy.
Winning once makes me want to do it so many more times.
Yeah, that's how they
Do I
built
get the
Las
feeling
Vegas.
that the rest of these games are going to cost money too? Everything
Uh,
here costs money, huh?
No, actually. Surprisingly, right, it looks like the only things that cost money, right, are these sort of gambling games, which are these 2 games are all over the place, right? And the tickets to get in, right? Everything else seems to be free of charge. And the food stuffs, of course. But the other games don't seem to cost anything.
Okay. I'm going to put 2 gold on every number.
Okay.
So I'm spending 12 gold.
Right.
2 gold on every number. We'll figure out what that means after I roll.
Right.
Okay. So I spent 12 gold. That's gone.
Right.
Now, since I put 2 gold on 3, I'm going to get 4 gold.
Right.
And since
And
I
you
put
get-
2 gold on 6,
Right.
I'm
You
gonna
get
get
8
2,
gold. You
8
get
gold.
no. You get 6 gold because it came up twice.
So I still lost money just then.
Yeah.
I lost 2 gold there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's
It's worth the risk.
right. That's predictable because if you could win money by putting gold on every number,
Yeah.
right, then everyone would just put gold on every number, and the Sea Maidens Fair would be out of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely like Tyler didn't think that
Mhm.
through because he probably could have come to that decision, but Exidia absolutely didn't think that through. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'll
right.
just bet on all of them. Duh.
Tyler, I appreciate you doing that little experiment because I considered that possibility when I dreamt this dumb little thing up, right? And didn't bother to think it all the way through. And just like the way I thought about it was, oh, well, like, in order for the games to really function, the odds really need to be like in Seabait and Fair's favor. Otherwise, it's not really a game, blah, blah. And I started going down that road until I realized, wait a second. Like, I'm not the Sea Maiden Fair. I don't care if they lose fucking money. Like, what difference does it make? Like, yeah, roll dice, win gold, the end. I stopped thinking about it. All right. Just out of curiosity, how many people have snow cones?
Piety
Me.
for sure.
Okay.
Sure. Wait, no.
Okay.
What's going on?
No cone.
It is time for the Chug and Charm. Who all's participating in the Chug and Charm?
Heck yeah.
Hello.
Sure.
Is that the story one?
That's the story one.
Wait,
Piety will just stand off the side watch.
Okay.
I'll do the
how does
story
this
one.
work?
Okay. There's 3 rounds, right? The way it's explained to you is they're going to give you a boot of beer, right? And they have a giant glass boot, right, that they fill with ale, and you need to chug, right? Then you have to put your forehead on what appears to be like a little club or something about 3 feet high, right? Run around that with your forehead on it 10 times, right? And then tell the first part of your story. That's round 1. There's 3 rounds, right? Mechanically, the way this works is you're going to make a constitution save, right? For the chug and the dizziness, right? Based on what you roll on your con save, you will get a modifier for your performance check, right? And we'll do that 3 times. Whoever's got the largest score at the end of it wins the Chug and Charm. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I lost the plot about a third of the way in, but I'm game. Let's do
Right.
it.
I got you. And so I hear, just so I can make sure I'm keeping score correctly, Corsonus.
Also, I am desperately trying to find a screenshot of Ted Lasso in the bar where the like 3 dudes all order the clear boots, and I cannot find one.
Yeah. So Corsonus, Nim, Exidia, you guys are all participating, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to join too.
Okay. And Kaz. All right. How about everybody roll me a D20 so we can see what order we're going in.
Why?
All right.
You're just the best.
So Corsonus. And oh Jesus, Nim. Not good.
No.
Oh, and Naya's playing too. Excellent. So Petunia's in.
Heck yes.
All
Heidi
right.
is standing off to the side eating her snow cone, and I think this is the first time y'all have ever seen her eat anything. Just Join a little snow cone.
There we go. There's your boot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different movie, but
Walter
yeah,
Mitty,
Walter
but
Mitty. Yeah.
Right.
are like
Uh,
4 people in Greenland.
okay. Corsonis, roll me that D20.
Or what is it? Remind me.
Okay. So an 8 gives you a -1 on your performance check. So what this means is you chug this down and you spin yourself around that bat, and it's
Was this
not
supposed to
so
be a
much.
con save?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a total of 11 then.
Okay,
I have a
great.
+3 con
Well, then you've got a flat modifier, right? So you chug this beer down. I mean, you're a little inebriated, but that's what happens when you drink 3 feet of beer, in no time. Like you spin around this club and a little woozy. Would you like to give us a topic for the story that you're going to tell?
I will detail the visions of a spirit named Sonus who has seen the future of his village.
I
It's,
love it. Make me a
it's-
performance
it's-
check.
it's nothing but eyes, lots of eyes. There shouldn't be that many eyes. I can't even see what I rolled. Hell yes.
Okay. Fantastic.
So many eyes and laughing, lots of laughing. This ale's really bad. Like, what did Nim? What was that stuff we had the other day? This is really what? No, I'm telling a story. I'll push.
All right, Kaz, let's see that con save as you down your first yard of beer.
Yard.
11.
All right, that's another flat con modifier. So you chug this beer, do your laps. Now it's time to start telling your story. What topic is your story about?
Found it.
I think Kaz would tell a story of the tale of the traveling khaki.
Okay.
The Brotherhood of the Traveling Khaki.
How dare you? Roll that performance check.
If it were a
20.
brotherhood, of course
Oh.
it's khakis.
Dude,
Oh my god.
there was a polite smattering of applause, right? For Corsonis, right?
That's what I'm up
But
for you.
it's a little strange at first because as you're talking, like in the immediate vicinity, it's dead quiet. You can hear the rest of the fair going on, but in the immediate vicinity, it's dead quiet until you stop, and then a huge cheer erupts.
Oh,
Petunia, can you make me a con save, please? Do you know where to find that on your character sheet?
Is he here?
I see him in chat. They're muted.
no. Oh. Oh, no.
Why don't we move on, right? And if we can get the technical, or when we get the technical difficulties worked out, we'll get back to Petunia. Xidia, how about a con save from you?
All right. All right.
All right.
God, we are killing these con saves.
It's the
let's get
brain
'em-
freeze. I have a brain freeze.
right, let's get them all out of the way during the fair is how I look at that. I love it, Tyler. Like, it's not really the beer or the spinning that has given you some problems, right? You're just thinking, I don't know if all of this on top of the snow cone was a good idea. Like, this is just not a very good mix. What topic will you be telling a story about?
It's a scary story about a person who dives into some ancient ruins, and is searching for they don't know what, but then they find something and it's not good.
Love it. Make me that performance check. Yeah. Right. Even better because with that 6 con save, you got a -2 modifier.
I think like after the spinning, she
Mhm.
just like can't pick her head up because the
Okay.
antlers are heavy,
Right.
and she's just like starts just giving this story like with her head still on the thing.
Right. So the way I envision this, right, is you consumed this yard of beer, you spun around the little stick, right? And as you're going to stand back up, you catch your horns or you catch your antlers on like the little table that's sitting right there. And you keep knocking into that and you're jostling that around and you're, a little anxious and a little nervous. So you start telling your story and people are literally just looking at each other like, what's happening? Like they don't even really understand that you've started telling your story. And by the time you're standing fully upright, you've already said what you have to say and everyone is just confused. Nim.
Heidi's like,
Right. Love it.
Oh my god.
I think Naya
Bless you.
might be back.
Naya, you with us?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Can you make a con save for me?
It's right here. A Constitution save. If you look in the stream, I'm like hovering over it with my mouse.
Right. So if you're looking at your character sheet and you start from where your character's name is, just under Dungeons and Dragons, right? And you go down, it's sort of in that left-hand column. You'll see just under your name, there's a box that says inspiration, and then a little box that says performance bonus or proficiency bonus. And then there's a box underneath proficiency bonus that has all your saving throws in it. And one of them is a Constitution saving throw. You able to find that?
No, I'm sorry. There's a lot
Okay, no
going
worries.
on right
How about if I roll it for you?
Yes, please. I'm
Great.
sorry.
No worries. All right. So you got a 12, right? Which is pretty good. You've clearly, this is clearly not your first rodeo, which is not surprising given the product that you were selling prior to running into trouble with the guild. So you're feeling pretty good, and you're going to need to make a performance check. Would you like to tell us what you're telling a story about while I roll this performance check for you?
Wait, I'm supposed to be telling the story about
Any story you want. And you don't have to tell the full story. You just need to give us an idea like, I'm going to tell a story about X.
About like myself or like
It
my
can be
past
about
or-
yourself. It can be something you made up. It can be a story of wizards and warriors that you heard someone else tell. It can be a dirty limerick. And you have rolled, I don't know if everybody's seeing it, but you have rolled a 13 on your performance check. And you get a +1 on that because of your good con save. The crowd is very intrigued by this unusual opener, right? And it draws them in, and they're looking forward to hearing what you want to say in the next round. Nim,
All
grab that
right.
boot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think maybe you're feeling a little bit in your element in that, look, maybe it's not exactly my cup of tea, but this is a stage and this is sort of what I do. Like I'm feeling myself a little bit. And
This
that
is my element, and getting drunk is part of that. Like, you gotta like let it happen.
right. So so you decide, you know what? I'm letting it all hang out. No sense trying to like keep this buttoned up tight. I'm going to get a little crazy here. And you do.
Just don't throw up.
Right. So with that, that's a -2 on this performance roll. What story are you telling?
I am beginning subtly with the story of a kidnapping
Okay.
of a very powerful and well-known, recognizable, incredibly handsome nobleman from Waterdeep. That's where we're starting.
Excellent. Roll that performance check. Oof.
Oh, that's not good. That's not
Right.
good.
The interestingly enough, right, the crowd initially seems sort of into it, right? But then they feel like you've sort of telegraphed too much, and they're like, "Wait, this has been all anyone in Waterdeep has been talking about." I think, is he really going to tell that story? Like, that's going to be tough, man. We've all heard a version of it.
You gotta wait till the end. You gotta wait till the end.
Corsonus, you're up for round 2.
Oh boy.
Grab that
Con
yard.
save. Con save.
Dude, these con saves are ridiculous.
Happening?
I have, yeah. And let me actually get my performance check because maybe I actually do get somewhere out of this. And there is a brilliant young prodigy who goes with the spirit, a mortal who is doing his best to save his village. And do I get a third shoe, right? I get another one.
There's another one coming, dude.
Nim,
Yeah.
I need.
Two. One more.
The crowd.
Exidia has horns. Did Exidia always have? I feel like Exidia didn't always.
No, not always.
Right,
Yeah. Okay. See, I'm smart. I notice these things.
the crowd, like, although initially it's like, oh God, this guy again. Like, can we just? Look, they're really starting to warm up. They're like, oh, wait a second. Like, I don't think we've heard this. I think he's actually building to something. Amazing. Kaz, you've got these people eating out of the palm of your hand right now. Let's see that con save.
That's the worst part.
Not too narrow. Oh no!
Oh no!
I told y'all
Oh my
this is the worst part.
What was that, Ted?
I was just gonna say. I think the 8 on my con save should have given me a -1, right? So that's actually only
did.
a 7.
Yeah,
I forgot to
17.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Kaz. Oh boy. Oh no.
Kaz, your initial performance, right, has your confidence sky high. And you slam down this boot in record time. You even know to like twist it just at the right moment so you don't have that giant bubble just hit you in the face of beer. It goes down smooth as silk. You make it around 4, 5, 6 times with this bat, and you realize you're in real trouble, and you're in real trouble fast, right? And you move just quick enough to turn and boot over the backside of this stage that you're on, right? And everybody sort of jumps back. Like, you didn't come close to puking on anybody, but everybody makes a big show of jumping out of the way, right? And now you get to turn and face the crowd with a -5 modifier to your performance check.
My God.
This is. I believe in myself. This is the heart of the cards, right?
Yeah, dude.
No, it's
All
not.
right.
It's a 2.
All right.
So the khaki. Oh fuck.
Right. You're trying to talk more about these traveling khakis, and you cannot stop hiccuping. Right. Yeah, no one's super happy.
Woo! Yeah.
All right. Petunia, do you want to take a shot at rolling these dice? Or would you like me to roll them for you?
Which one am I rolling?
This is going to be a con save.
Okay, sorry. Stop.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh my god.
Once
Hell
again,
yeah.
Finally,
Right.
somebody.
right? Petunia, who, look, I'm not speaking ill of anybody here. I don't know, right, everybody's history that well. But if anybody knows their way around intoxicants, right, it's Petunia. And it shows. And that's going to be +3 on your performance modifier. Do you want to tell us the second part of this story that you're telling people while you roll that performance modifier? The performance modifier, by the way, or the performance check, is just under where you rolled the saving throws, where you rolled that con save. It's the section right under that. And all of your different skill checks are in alphabetical order. So if you go down to the P's, you'll find performance.
I'm so sorry. May you
No.
say that again? My cat was walking.
No
across
worries.
the floor.
Believe me, I know what it's like when the cat wants attention paid. So just under the section where you rolled that con save, right,
Mhm.
is the section for your skill checks. And they're all in alphabetical order. And if you just go
Oh,
down to the P's, you'll
okay.
see performance.
Oh.
Okay, that's acrobatics. That's close, right? But it's in
Fucking
that list. You're in the right spot. Just go down a little further and you'll find performance.
Okay, here we go.
Fantastic.
Oh
Oh, boy.
no!
Oh,
Someone did it worse than me.
Right. Now, the good news, right, is that you do have that +3, right? But that does only make it a 5, right? Do you want to tell us what the second part of your story is about?
Just
I'd like to think that it's sort of more of the same.
just kind of like a no, you don't get a no.
Right. And
I'm
right,
just up here for
yeah,
the free drink.
right, just up here for the free drink, right? And the crowd starts to turn a little bit. It's like, wait a second, like she sucked us in the first time, but is she really not going to tell us a story? This is some bullshit, right? Exidia.
clickbait.
Oh, poor Exidia.
I'm
Can-
honestly hoping it stays back.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Okay.
All right. You know, stumbled a little bit the first time, but feeling it a little bit more, getting used to it. So you'll have a +2 on your performance modifier. Or performance check? Why don't you roll that and tell us
damn.
what the mid part of your story is about?
My God.
So this time, whenever she gets up there, she understands the horns a little better
Mhm.
and is thinking about them this time. And the midsection of the story is just you know, it gets very, very spooky, very like suspenseful, as they're diving through these ancient ruins and finding like, the remnants of old explorers, and uh uh finds a skeleton, that the only thing that you can see wrong with it is like a hole like bored into the skull of it. It's very graphic.
Yeah, and you know that you've got them in the palm of your hand because you see a couple people jump. You see a couple people actually grab for someone else in the crowd. There's some legitimate terror that you're instilling in these people. Nim, grab that boot.
Burp.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Similar to Exidia, you're starting to maybe a little sloppy first time around, but starting to hit your groove. So you get a
Okay.
+2 on this check, and tell us what the midpoint of your story is all about.
All right,
Now we're
here we
talking.
go. Yeah.
Oh no!
He begins to describe the place that this nobleman had been taken to, and talks of this um, eclectic lair underneath the ground that is draped with the sigils and markings of the arcane, and um, in the shadows lurks this beast with a cephalopodic face, and whispers within the ears but not heard sound, echoing within the skull, like it goes very quickly from like fairy tale damsel in distress to like to an eldritch horror, like on a dime. And as he's walking off, he's like, fucking told ya.
And I mean, you hear the grumbling, as you start, and people are like, oh, we've heard it. You hear it slowly die down, right? Until you hear little murmurs and little oohs and ahs and little comment like, oh, no one told us. I thought it was just from a warehouse. Oh my goodness, wait, they found what? And by the end of this round, people are enthralled and there's a huge cheer. Corsonus,
Oh boy. Let's see if I can fail 3 con saves.
All right, here we go.
14.
Sobering up a little bit. All
Yeah.
right.
Proficiency.
Yeah. Just
Oh, no, you're a
drinking
I'm a
yourself.
Never mind.
wizard.
Yeah,
Right.
I forgot you weren't a sorcerer. My bad.
Just drinking yourself sober. All right. Okay. Well, that's a problem. The +2 that you gained because of the solid drinking and spinning effort, the only will take you so far. How do you bring this home, Corsonis?
He factually does not. He is
love it.
partway into talking about the young the friends that this young person has found trying to help him save his village, and Corsonis falls off the stage.
Nice. And like, there's a huge cheer, right? But not for what you want. Like, they're just excited. They know this sort of mess happens all the time, right?
Counterpoint. It's exactly what he wants, because he falls and holds up the glass boot to show it has not been broken.
Now there's the cheer.
That's
Right.
why they cheer.
Right. Now the cheer's even louder. They actually,
It's
a group
fine.
of them,
It's
a group
fine.
of them
I
literally
didn't break.
scoop you up and hoist you back onto the stage. Kaz,
Oh shit.
bring it on home. Let's see that finale. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Kaz's drinking abilities are in question. He's thrown up once. He does an admirable job of choking this final boot of ale down. But he looks pretty green, right? So much so that the Sea Maiden hand that is operating this just takes the bat away and it's just motions at him like, dude, we don't want, no, just go out there, say your piece and get on with it. You got a -3 on this performance check.
12.
All right. Bring it on home about these khaki pants.
Let me tell you, when your career in the storytelling industry is going down, you start telling some shit that doesn't make sense at all. Now this is an action movie. It's turning into something like fucking Transformers. And then the Payans, they started to howl in the dead of night.
People don't have any idea what you're talking about.
I'm telling you, this was a good story at one point.
Like, honestly, at this point, that's their favorite part of the story, is you just insisting that it's a good story and they don't know what they're missing. And so you get some polite applause and that's it. Petunia, you got one more boot of beer. Let's see that con save.
I was really feeling myself when I got that 20 earlier. I
Yeah.
got humbled so hard.
All right. But, you know, maybe your overconfidence in the intoxicant arena is starting to show a little bit. A little blasé with just how much beer 3 boots is. So this will be a -1 on your performance check. And how about if you just let us know, are you going to share any details either about your life or about any story that comes up? Or are you just going to chastise the crowd again for wanting to hear some story which you view as sort of a waste of time? All right, let's see that performance check. That's spectacular. Either
like
any way this performance check goes, that sharing that detail is spectacular.
Mic drop.
Right.
Out.
It's like when a celebrity
Yeah.
just has a manic
Yeah.
episode on Twitter. You just don't understand what's going on anymore.
This is the dice that statement deserved.
Yeah. People are basically ignoring you when you take the stage, right? Because you've just had 2 rounds of basically being like, dude, I'm not telling you shit. Like, fuck all. Like, this is ridiculous. Why would I share anything with you? Right. And you get up there and you're silent for an uncomfortably long time for a contest like this. And then just literally it's like, well, I guess I'll give you something. My girlfriend's the size of my thumb, and jaws just drop. Like, everyone is stunned. And you just walk off the stage and people are like pleading about, like, give us some context or what. But no, you're leave them wanting more. Exidia.
Kaz is one of those people, by the way.
Right.
Do.
All right. Yeah. So that's going to be oh boy.
Boom.
Oh, buddy.
Oh boy. All right.
Exidia comes into this last bit, and like doing fine with the alcohol, gets the spin out, and then gets into the story, and is feeling very confident. And it's like, okay, now I gotta end it. I gotta end it with a bang, and starts talking about like the traveler winds up finding this artifact, and as soon as they touch it, and then just quiet for a moment. And then Exidia is going to use her Defile Ground feature to try to like throw up like crystalline shards and everything all around her, but like break stuff and this thing doesn't hurt me, but I'm drunk and I get scared and like stumble and fall, and I don't know, maybe my like
And-
horn like pierces a person's arm or something.
And you get interrupted by the stagehands who are like, what are you doing? Come on. We got other contestants. We got to run this a couple times more tonight. And you're busting up the stage with these crystals. Get out of here.
She turns invisible and runs off.
Aww.
Oh.
Nim.
Someone's just bleeding in the crowd.
You see someone jump off the stage, right? Clearly, like a cleric or some other medical professional on the fair's employ, and just start taking care of some people in the crowd.
You just like turned invisible and ran off.
Yeah, I don't get very far, but
Oh, okay. Not a
So you're
great-
just turning invisible to get off of the stage, is what you're saying?
yeah,
Okay.
to get out of people's focus.
Gotcha.
And then I'm like hiding off in the wing somewhere.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Then I am not worried and will not forfeit my big moment here. Go find you. Okay.
Not bad. All right.
Okay.
It not going to be a modifier one way or the other. Bring it on home. All right.
Okay.
How do you end this thing?
There's just a lot of talk about like the psychic horror that begins to like infect this young lord's mind, and then like the appearance of another mage, the half orc or the orc who we had met, and like his vow that he would be that this trap would work, or and then like the mighty story of the incredibly attractive heroes that do come to save the day and utterly make an ass out of this other mage, to the point where the illithid monster fearfully teleports away and is never seen again. And that's the story I tell.
Spectacular. And the crowd loves it. Just as an aside, I'm not going to, right? But there's a part of me that really wants to just turn this thing on its ear and just have a mind flayer show up and be like, afraid? I left because I was afraid?
See, that's the thing, is I know that, like, talking about this story and specifically bringing this dude up
Right.
is, like, not a safe thing to do, but I think
Right.
of all places to do so, this is fine.
Oh yeah. Spectacular, right? And ending on a pretty high note. Does Exidia join everybody back on stage when the stagehand is like, okay, we're gonna choose a winner? I need to see by applause, or are you still just gonna hang out on the wings?
Exidia will join if like the people running this thing allow me to. Like,
Yeah. I mean, after you ran off and you're not actively hurting people anymore, right? They're like, oh, okay, it's fine. Like, live and let live. It's fine. You learned your lesson. Get up here, right? Okay. So let's see. How many people think Corsona's here had the best story? And there's a pretty sizable amount of applause. And the same is true for Kaz, right? And for Petunia. And the stagehand is like, oh man, this is tough. This is going to be, we might need a tiebreaker if it sticks like this. And right, how about Exidia? How'd she do? How'd she do, folks? And there's some polite applause. Somebody throws half of their half-eaten snow cone.
yeah,
at you on stage.
I will give like a healing word to the person I injured.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Yes. Sorry, I threw that snow cone then.
That's okay. I'll enjoy it.
And they finally about Nim here. How do you like his story about the spooky face guy? And the crowd goes wild. And so Victor here. Nim, congratulations on winning the Chug and Charm. For all our contestants, including Nim, the boots are yours to keep. And
What, for walking?
yeah.
These boots were made for walking.
I'm gonna turn it into an arcane focus.
Nice. And Nim, and for you, and holds out a just like a very simple leather necklace with like a square of oak that is sort of convex that hangs from it like a pendant. It's a little convex, and it reeks of booze. It reeks of ale. And there you go, your prize for winning. Congratulations.
Just a dumb little handmade medal.
As far as you know right now.
Okay, excellent. I kiss it and hold it up to everybody.
Okay. Right. And everybody goes crazy.
I wear it with pride.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, spectacular. That was the Chug and Charm. You've got, another 10 or 15 minutes to kill before the pie eating contest. Down once again at this end, you can still hear people screaming heave. That's where the walk the plank event is sort of ongoing. If anybody wants to,
maybe I should go walk the plank, wake up a little bit.
I don't know
No.
about that.
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
Come on, Cursor.
I mean, I stabbed a person, so I should probably walk the plank.
I think you should go to jail, actually.
Okay, well,
He's technically right.
I mean, I disagree, but
I don't think you should, but I think he's technically right.
That's a jail, prison.
okay, so
I healed them. They forgave
I'm not
me.
gonna snitch. It's just like we can't just stab people on stage.
Oh my god.
as you're walking down there, I would like everybody to make a perception check for me.
Ooh.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
What in God's name?
Holy moly!
I'm holding Corsonis up.
Holy moly!
I can walk. I can walk. It's which way is the water again?
Right. Nim, you clock it first, but Exidia, and as you turn to Exidia and Kaz, or as you turn to the group, you can just see that Exidia and Kaz have already seen this as well. It's just sort of there's some dude walking around, just some random dude, right? He's got like a tabard on, right? He's not wearing any armor or anything, but he's got a tabard on that just says, I survived musical chairs at the Sea Maiden Fair, and all I got was this lousy tabard.
I fucking want that so bad.
You also now, as you're walking down towards the end of the docks, what you notice down here is there's two, they almost look like gallows, right, at the end of the docks, right? But they're really set up more just like cranes, and you can see that there's a big, heavy rope that is looped up through there, through this crane arm, right? And down around the feet of somebody standing, right, on a plank that's extended out off of the end of the dock, right? And there are 6 big burly individuals, right, holding onto the rope, right, for each of the 2 setups like this, right? And as you approach, you see somebody jump off of one of these planks, right? And the rope quickly unfurl, right? And you see somebody sort of leaning over the edge of the dock, scream, heave! And these 6 burly individuals just grab hold of this rope and pull it tight and start sort of jogging up towards the end of the dock, but slowing down as they approach it, and then come to a stop, and then just start reeling this rope in. And they are, after about 45 seconds or so, you just see an individual hoisted up from the end of this dock, right, by their ankles, hanging upside down. They reel them in. So essentially, we're talking about the water deep equivalent of bungee jumping with no actual bungee cords, all humanoid powered. And you look over the side, right? And they have little like floaties in the water that the goal is to grab one when you jump.
Sounds like a good time, but maybe, I mean, there's a lot of beer in me right now.
I'm just saying. It's fun, right? Y'all said we should experience everything here. So,
I'm
why
going
not?
to try it. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean,
First
is
on,
there a
come here.
game to it, or are we just jumping? Like,
I'm just jumping.
It's just jumping, I think.
okay, that's neat.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's a game to it, right? In that,
Oh, we have to grab the things?
I mean, you don't have to. Like, if you'd rather just jump, like, you can just jump, right? But it functionally, the way this is going to work, right? And since it sounds like most of you are doing it, I'll give away one of the little tidbits here, right? when you get up on the plank, the first thing you've got to do is make a wisdom saving throw, right? And if you fail it, you are frightened, right? And so you have to do everything at disadvantage. But if you're drunk from any of the events that might cause you to get drunk, you make that save at advantage. So everyone except Piety has advantage on the wisdom saving throw. Okay. And then, right, it's an athletics or an acrobatics check, right? And it's just highest score wins.
Okay.
Fuck it, let's try.
Hell yeah.
All right, who all is participating? Okay.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, I'll play.
I'm playing.
Okay. So. Piety. Xidia, Corsonis. Nim and Petunia, are you playing or sitting this one out?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, is that I'm playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
And it looks like Petunia also.
Fantastic. All right, everybody's in.
Whole squad.
We're here for free, like
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's just go right down the bat. Everybody give me a wisdom save. Right? And everybody except Piety makes it an advantage. But Piety, you make the save. As does Kaz and Nim. Oh, and Petunia's just
Oh
got
my
ice
God.
water in
Damn.
her veins. Corsonis.
That's
fucking-
I got one
buddy.
good roll at the start, and I have
Right.
done sub
Right.
5 since then. So I'm all
he's
about this.
so cute.
Yeah. So,
The dice are telling a story here.
This may have been a bad idea.
okay. Meet it,
No.
beats it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He made it.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody except Corsonis,
Oh.
right, is making this athletics or acrobatics check, right? As just a straight roll. Corsonis, you've got disadvantage because you step up on that plank and your knees start knocking. You're thinking all of a sudden this might not be such a
buddy.
good idea.
I don't need advantage. It's fine. Disadvantage.
All right. Let's go in reverse order. Exidia, why don't you go first here?
Okay, you said acrobatics or athletics?
Athletics, whichever you want. Yeah.
Athletics.
Damn.
All
I
right.
didn't mean to still have advantage on,
You know, as you're looking down, it's sort of it's almost like a dartboard, right? And you are able to pull out a little floaty that has the number 17 on it. Spectacular. Corsonis.
Oh, buddy.
Alrighty. Acrobatics is my better of the two
Mhm.
at disadvantage. Of course.
Yeah.
I belly
Oh
flop
my
straight into the
God.
water.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
belly
I mean,
flop this shit.
the good news is this, right? You don't belly flop into the water because these big burly individuals are making sure that doesn't happen, right? So like when you watched, right, when you
No, it's
watched,
fine. I got this.
right, when you watch Exidia do it, like it's sort of an impressive bit of teamwork on the people running this particular attraction. Like it's really well timed and they've got this sort of dance down pat where they, you know, when the spotter yells out to them, right, they start jogging towards the edge of the dock and they slow down and they slow down. And, you know, they generally get it, right, just enough so that like an individual's arm and maybe like their face like dips into the water and then they start pulling them back up, right? You just barely scrape your hand across a one of these little floaties here, right? You could swear that it was one that said 20, right? But we'll never know because you can't really reach it and they start pulling you up and you're empty-handed. Petunia, why don't you make an acrobatics or an athletics check for us so we can see how well you've done? Okay, better. Better than Corsonus's last jump, but not particularly great. The team works a lot better in that you get that full extension and you can get your arm sort of into the water, so you've got a decent shot at grabbing something. But just where you jump, there's just not a lot there, and it's too far to reach out for you to grab anything up before they start hauling you up. Nim.
Oh, what do you know? Oh my god!
What
God.
is going
You know
on?
what?
What I
You know
say?
what?
I just
It's
said
so
it.
dumb. I think I want to use my inspiration for this because that +8.
All right, yeah, spectacular.
Oh,
There we
yeah,
go.
there you go. There you go. There is one floaty out there, right, that has the number 30 on it. And as you're heading down, that's your initial intent, but you sort of realize that about halfway down that the trajectory just isn't right, and it would be a real reach, both literally and figuratively, for you to get that. And so you do a quick scan, you see a floaty with the number 23 on it, and boom, you snag that, and you're hauled up feeling pretty good
all
about
right.
yourself. Kaz, let's see it.
Let's go.
All right.
Come on with the rogueness.
Yeah. No way,
So
Kaz.
glad.
Kaz just looks back at one of the burly people, blinks, and then like slow. Oh, my bad. Winks at one of them, then does like a fucking full front flip instead.
You can't hear it, Kaz, because you're so focused on what you're doing. But at this front flip, there's a bit of panic on the dock from the spotter in particular, right? Because it fucks up all of his calculations and like the rhythm of when he's got to call things, right? And so he's sort of freaking out a little bit, and he prematurely starts and then stops and then finally calls it. And these hulking individuals, right, have to put a lot more work in, right, because of how sort of strange this was. But none of that affects you. Like, you are just flying through the air, hurtling towards the water, and you barely get wet as you pluck a floaty with 24, and you dangle a little bit longer than you'd like before they start hauling you up, but eventually they do. And there's big applause from everybody as you hold the 24 up, except the spotter, who's pissed and is trying to give you an earful, but even he can't sustain his anger all that long. Piety.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Hey.
You are hurtling towards the water. You spot this floaty with the number 21. You grab it, and you've got instant confusion, right? Because you are just fully submersed in the water at this point. And you're fully submersed in the water. You can feel it, your entire body, the bottom of your feet, like everything. You're in, right? And when you finally like surface, right, you hear the spotter sort of, without much vigor, just say, heave. Right? And
What
unceremoniously,
happened?
right, they just start pulling you up.
What
Yeah.
the fuck what? I mean, I don't mind, but like, what the fuck was that?
Sorry about that. I got distracted.
All right, word. Yeah, no, that's fine. Flicks water off of herself onto him.
What did you say your name was?
Piety?
Okay. Sorry about that. Piety.
Word. All right, cool. Piety walks back to the
Okay, for your participation, everybody gets little floaty water wings.
Yeah.
Right. Kaz, they approach you and they say, hey, looks like you're sort of made to be in and around the water. Just in case you ever need to do it again for a longer period of time. And they hand you something that looks like a shower cap.
Okay. Damn. You just see Cass start mumbling, I'm gonna fucking put that like a fucking metal. I got a shower cap. I mean, I guess it saves me money. Thank you. Yeah. It just fucked my. I'm sobering up already. What the hell? Is that an insult?
Okay. Let's say we take our break here and resume at 11:15. How's that sound for everybody?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. go back to the right screen in OBS, and we're back. As you stand there, Piety considerably more soaking wet, or the only one of you that is soaking wet. Right.
I'm wringing my shirt out on people.
Right. You once again see those telltale thigh-high red boots
Yes.
headed your way. And this time, our man Zardoz has a towel slung over his shoulder, right? That he extends to you, Piety. And-
Piety remembers that she has prestidigitation and does that instead.
And
Tries herself up.
right, he tips his cap and just flips the towel back over his shoulder.
Thank you, though. That was very kind. I just
Oh, it's my pleasure.
remembered. Yep.
You know, it's not a perfect science. So, how about a quick bite to eat?
I think we could manage.
Wonderful. Follow me. And he pulls a wineskin off of his belt and hands it to Corsonis. Drink this, lad.
Okay. Sure.
It is the Faerun equivalent of Pedialyte.
It doesn't really have a bite at all.
That's not the point, good man. The point is, if you drink some of this, you'll be able to drink more stuff that has a bite later on.
I can handle it. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, you're quite good. You're all good. Now, please, have a seat. I'll inform the you find it, we fry it that we'd like something simple, nothing too exotic. And you sit down at a table, and he sort of motions over, gets the nod. Says, so, looking at you, Nim, is that's a true tale?
If you say so, I'll lift it and kiss it again.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I'm asking. I mean, clearly inspired by the wonderful rescue that you all performed, but how much of that tale was accurate?
Oh, give or take. Actually, near on 60%.
All right, well.
Of the whole, he'll wave his hand down over his face and cast minor illusion and give himself the mind flayer face,
Okay.
and then pass his hand back up over his face and it vanishes. That was real. Maybe not all of its behaviors, but that was certainly something we did see.
Well, it's not a happy sight no matter where you run into one.
No, I actually feel quite lucky that we got back after seeing it.
Right, well, did y'all face quite a fight while you were down there?
Bit of a scrap, yeah. The other mage was not wouldn't say easy, but I mean we all made it out alive.
But you had to put him down.
Yes.
Well,
I look
you
at
know,
everyone else for confirmation.
he sends one of yours to the cleric, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Waterdeep way.
Snap my fingers and click my tongue at him.
Well, I guess the 100 gold question then is, what do you think they wanted with Lord Neverember?
I do think we know, but whether or not that's our business to be telling, different question.
Oh, but we're all friends here, aren't we?
I think we're rather friendly, certainly. I'll look at everyone else.
I guess.
Really, I mean, you can't even share the inspiration for such a bold and brash maneuver with your new buddy Zardos. And here I am being all hospitality, or hospitable and everything.
And well, I mean,
Don't get me wrong. The hospitality continues regardless of your answer, but the mind wanders at the possibilities.
but they seem to think that Renier has in his possession, or at least knowledge within his possession, of something that his father might have left him. And as far as we were able to understand, it might have been a misplaced faith.
Hmm. So, Zentarum, Xanathar's lot all think, here's a rich kid, son of the former Lord of Waterdeep. He's got to have something valuable to his name. But you think they were operating on mere speculation?
Aren't we all? If it comes to any of the affairs of the Neverembers.
Hmm. Yes, well, I suppose many are. Oh. How are you liking the fair so far?
It's been nice, Play a couple of games, tell a couple stories.
Yes, I saw those stories. You started off strong, lad.
It's a good tale. I got to tell it sometime later on. But
Well,
the Brotherhood
maybe,
of Traveling Khakis shall live again.
maybe you'll grace me with it sometime without all the ale and the spinning.
Yeah. One day.
And you don't have any stories to tell? He snaps his fingers like he's trying to remember your name, Piety.
Piety sits there and waits for him to try and remember it.
You don't, Parody. Yes, you don't have any
Close
stories,
enough.
Parody?
Not quite. No, most of them are pretty recent. So think Nim had it covered much better than I could have done.
Well, I certainly don't know about that. I do know that Nim has proven to be quite the storyteller. But surprising that you don't perform more often.
And well, about that, actually, it's I can't. I am not allowed. Don't have the proper documentation.
Oh, well, that's... I was going to say that's ridiculous, but this is Waterdeep, and they do love their rules.
Mhm.
Well, the good news is anytime you feel like you might want to scratch that itch, should come on down to the Sea Maidens Fair. See, we have a license for anyone in our employ to perform.
Oh, oh.
Yes, it's hard license to get, but for traveling troops such as ours, it's really the only way that we can conduct business. It's incredibly expensive, but it does cover the entire troop.
Right. Naturally. If that were a this were a serious offer, being as it were, would there be any need for providing of certifications, educational requirements, or anything of that nature?
He waves his hands in sort of like a opening wide gesture out towards the two ships that are in dock. It says, we live off the water. We have no need for formal education or qualifications. You prove your mettle to your fellow Fairhand. That's all we care about here.
Very, very much appreciated. I shall consider. Thank you.
A giant
Can I do
plate of fried food shows up.
Can I do an insight check on that to see if, like, I don't know, it feels like there's like ulterior motives to this.
Okay. Yeah, give it to me.
He just likes my vibe, okay?
Right.
Good seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the overall vibe that you're getting from him, right, is that he was clearly interested in the story about Never Ember, right? Both the content of that story, but also how well Nim told it, right? And like he's been nothing but friendly since the first moment you met him, right? Like he's not, this just seems more of that. Like, he has essentially been told that Nim would like to perform more, right? He's got a solution that literally costs him nothing in time or money or effort, right? So he's just throwing it out there. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Big plate of food shows up. It appears that most of it is bits of fried bird, probably mostly chicken, but probably some pigeon in there as well. A fair amount of fried fish. There are some fried bits that are not easily identifiable, that Zardoz refers to as the bonus bits. And he scarfs a couple of those down real quick. Delicacy.
Fuck yeah.
Listen, you guys are going to want to plow through this pretty quickly. The pie eating contest starts in about 15 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Wouldn't it make sense not to eat before the pie eating contest?
You want to eat your dessert first, man. Oh, you are a rebel.
You're going to eat a lot of food, so I just,
all right, well. The choice is yours.
Listen,
and I mean, I guess,
it's not all about having room. It's about having determination.
I love him. He'll just shake his shoulders.
Zardoz claps Corsonis on the back hard right? And this man gets it. Now shove that shit down your throat so we can go see who's going to win the pie eating contest.
Oh. Oh my god.
I tuck in.
Nice.
Of course, it's going to be miserable tomorrow. He doesn't know it.
Oh, buddy.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat a bunch of this fried food, but make it very clear I don't think I'll be participating in any pie eating. Thank you.
I mean, I know I said I would earlier, but I'm not like an eater. Like I don't like eat a lot or like ever. I mean, the snow cone was pretty much
Hey,
it for like.
where
a
did all
while.
that determination go? We was just all a big group about it. Now,
All right, fine.
Yeah.
I'm not eating this. Whatever the hell this is, though.
that's,
Went to,
that's the special bits
an
right there.
extra bit.
Oh, wait, you don't want that bonus bit?
Would you like it, please? By all
well,
means.
Certainly, Parity. Thank you. Very kind.
Every time he says parody, she kind of like cringes a little, but then has the thought of like, I mean, it's no more my real name than anything else would be. So yeah, fuck it. Whatever. Sure, man.
Wonderful. So he's chowing down, y'all are chowing down. You hear the ringing of a giant triangle, right? Indicating, and somebody screaming, "Everybody that wants to sign up for the pie eating contest. 5 minutes for the pie eating contest."
Okay.
Who wants to eat some pie?
Fuck
I
yeah.
do.
All right.
I'm
Alright.
giving bardic inspiration for all of my friends about to endure this miserable experience.
Okay, so let me just.
Actually, I have 3.
I heard.
Choose your real friends, then last.
I heard Piety, Kaz, Corsonus, Exidia. Nim is sitting this one out. Petunia. You gonna try and consume more pie than is humanly possible?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Petunia's in too.
I just had one pie eating contest. This one I'm finna win.
Yeah. This time. This is the one.
As you all go to sign up, and you're slowly ushered up on stage, right? You hear, okay. You hear oohs and ahs in the crowd, right? And they sort of part, right? As this 7'2", like 4 foot wide orc climbs up on stage with you.
Do the head nod. Hey.
Zoran like pie.
Oh, oh, that's good to know, buddy. That's good to know.
Okay, so let me just check. Nim, you've given everybody bardic inspiration. Is that correct?
Incorrect. I don't have that many. I'm Corsonus, Exidia, and Petunia.
Okay.
Because I have faith.
Mhm.
I have faith in everybody.
Okay. Corsonus, Exidia, and Petunia. You each have one bardic inspiration die, which Is that a D6 at this level?
It is an additional d6 to any ability check, attack roll, or saving throw in the next 10 minutes.
Great. So the three of you have one additional D6 in your pocket. This is going to be pretty simple. 3 rounds of con saves.
Those have gone so well
Yeah.
for us.
You've had a
Right?
real easy time so far. All right, let's see that first round as they sit everybody down, right? And they bring out these pies. They are enormous.
Oh
Right.
boy.
They're
Perfect.
right. It's probably like, I mean, a normal pie tin is probably like what, 8 inches, right? Maybe 10 inches, right? These are like 16 to 18 inch like pie tins, which means like 4 times the amount of pie, right? It's pretty preposterous. It's also, they inform you, a grab bag in terms of flavors, right? If you believe them, right, there's nothing horrific here, right? But, you know, it's just whatever berries or other sweet shit they could find to chuck in a pie, right? These are not here for everyone. These are not here for everyone's enjoyment that's eating them. They're here for everyone's enjoyment that is watching, right? So they just need to be palatable. And with that, they sit you all down, and let's see these con saves for round 1.
Nat
Oh
20,
my
baby.
god, yes, Cass! What the fuck? I said it. I'm betting on you.
I knew
buddy.
I didn't have to give you bardic inspiration.
There's only 2 ways you can go:
Obsidian.
really good or really bad.
Dude, I'll go ahead and throw that D6 on there.
Okay.
That's a 6.
No.
Okay. Hold on, let me get all of these down. Petunia, can you make a con save for me? Fantastic. Okay. Great. Let's see round 2. As people are just, they say go, and people are tearing into these pies, and Kaz and Corsonis in particular, right? The enthusiasm with which they are digging into these things is pretty impressive. They're both like elbow deep within seconds, right? And just one palm after the other, just slapping against their mouths, just shoveling pie in. Zoran, this giant orc, is a surprisingly dainty eater. Dude's got a fork and a knife.
Yeah.
Right. And has tucked a napkin into the neck of his shirt. Piety and Petunia are doing all right. Piety, honestly, like, you're sort of trying to get the hang of just eating again. Like, it's a
Yeah.
little weird, right? Poor Exidia, she's having a tough time on the stage at this fair. All right, let's see rolls for round 2.
Oh, hey!
All right.
Oh,
Oh no! Fucking Corsonas!
All right.
It's determination.
It's
Determination.
so
I'm gonna
easy.
eat these. I envision it, and it happens. Where'd my pie go?
I was determined.
Manifesting.
I think I was determined at the start in pure spite, and then actually, this is catching up with me.
Exidia just keeps getting pies, like flavors that she just hates. Like the first one's like orange, and
Love
the
it.
second one's like tangerine.
Is this banana?
Love it. Petunia, how about con save from you? And great. And Corsonas and Piety, you've already made your con saves, but could you each just roll a d20 for me again?
Oh no. Just a plain reg D20.
Yeah, just a regular d20. Perfect. I just need a tiebreaker. Okay. So things are going great. And I mean, Corsonas, you are just diving into these pies as they're coming out and placed in front of you. And it doesn't even really matter to you what flavor they are. You're ripping through them. Do you want to describe a little bit of what that looks like?
Corsonas separates the pie from the tin and just breaks it in half, and then bite from one half, bite from the other half, bite from one half, bite from the other half until it is all gone.
Love it. Love it.
He's of course making the no.
Right.
The fucking heavy
Bites every time.
Right. Again, like Zoran, this giant orc that everyone seems so excited about, right? He is just enjoying his pie. He's in no rush. He's just, again, with the fork and the knife. Every now and then you look over at him and he's like taking time to dab the corners of his mouth with the napkin that he's hung in front of him. Just very calm, very relaxed.
A true pie connoisseur.
Right. Exidia and Petunia, what do you two look like as you sort of start to fall behind a little bit? Relative to the other contestants?
Exidia has just lost any drive. Like they came into this like, oh, I can put down some pie. I love eating, but just every bite is just terrible.
Mhm.
And so
Aw.
it's just like okay, I've got to take another bite, but I don't
Mhm.
want to. And eventually, like, there's just pie left, and they are just looking at it, just staring at it.
Mhm. Petunia, you have any comments on your pie eating through 2 rounds? Petunia is none too pleased. And that declaration, right, would be pretty stunning and pretty attention grabbing if it weren't for something, actually a couple other unusual things that are going on the pie eating stage right now. Kaz, from your perspective, as you, I mean, initially in the first round, you had just dove into this pie. You know, in it, sort of elbow deep, shoveling stuff in, right? And you're a little confused because from your perspective, right, you don't know if it's all the booze and fried food and everything that you've eaten or whatever, but you would swear that this pie is getting bigger, right? And the reason for that is from everyone else's perspective, you are beginning to shrink. And you are getting smaller and smaller until you are about half the size you were when this started. Similarly, Piety,
Oh.
you don't, I mean, you remember eating, but you don't remember like the sensations of eating and what it does to the body. Like that's all sort of dissipated, right? And so you're confused as to whether or not it is normal that maybe as the body gets more full, the remaining food just looks smaller and smaller, right? Because that's what appears to be happening to these pies. They've gone from these giant pies and they're sort of shrinking down almost to the size of hand pies, right? And you're feeling like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating. I'm feeling sort of swollen, right? Like I don't know what's going on. When in fact, what everyone else sees is you are growing and growing until you have doubled in size, right? Kaz, you will have -5 on your next con save.
What?
Piety, you will have a +5 on your next con
What?
save.
What the hell?
Okay.
Right. Let's have another round of con saves. And
I got a -1.
oh boy.
Oh my god.
Oof. I will actually burn an inspiration on that. I'm not going out
Before you
not
burn
like
the
this.
inspiration, I
Nope.
do want to remind you that you've got the bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll still burn the inspiration.
Gotcha.
What? Okay.
Then I'll use the bardic inspiration.
There
Okay.
you go.
For a 15.
Yeah.
Great. Fantastic. Let me pull one of these. Great. Petunia, how about a con save? And while you're doing that, I got good news, Kaz, and that is when you're on, holy moly, when you're on the big stage, right? You are 2 for 2 in vomiting in front of a crowd.
Oh
What?
no. Yes.
I just got an L for no. Like it was just what the fuck was that?
Right. It's just, no, I mean, people are sort of excited this time. Right? They remember from the first time, or some of them remember from the first competition, right? And they see you sort of lurching again. And when you give it up this time, there are huge cheers. Piety, you seem so confused by the change in size, right? That, I mean, you weren't really interested in eating in the first place.
Yeah.
And now this is going on. So like you're trying to work your way through it, right? Our man Sauron, right? Casually, he finishes his first pie, right? And he just casually puts up a hand asking for another one. And once again, just carves into it with his knife and fork. Very dainty. And what this really comes down to, right, is Corsonis, you have just been going all out through this whole thing, right? And you can tell, like, people are starting to chant your name, right? They're really digging the effort. But, like, Petunia sort of eyes you out of the, corner of her eye, right? And sees, like, oh, I think, and kicks it into overdrive, right? And it is real close, right? But by the time it's all said and done, it's too little, too late for Petunia. And they come over, they're counting pie tins, and Corsonis, they raise your hand as the victor. And they ask everybody to stand up, right? And they lead the crowd in a round of applause. And thank you, everybody, for participating. Here's a little gift to show you our appreciation. And they hand each of you a pie tin, right? Which is interesting. It's just an empty pie tin, right? But it smells like a fresh baked pie, right? And then Kaz and Piety, this individual hands each one of you a small bottle with little liquid sloshing around in it. Says, thanks for being good sports. Just in case you ever want to try that again.
Or what? Wait a
Oh.
fucking second. Did we get potioned? The fuck? Like whispering to Cass.
You gotta fucking kneel down to me because I'm 3.5.
Yeah, are we still at our weird sizes or have we
You
gone
are.
back to normal?
No,
Oh
you
my
are.
god!
You are. It's a little strange.
What the hell?
As you begin to move off the stage, you realize that you are beginning to revert back to normal size.
Ugh. That was entirely unpleasant, and I'm never eating again. Cool.
At this point, my mouth has tasted my own throw up multiple times tonight.
Yeah, are you alright, buddy? You good?
Maybe I should not do the eating or the drinking.
Yeah. Patsy on the back. I'll be alright.
They just thought it would be okay. Just turn me into a fucking 3 foot tall elf.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Like, what? I thought I was going crazy for a second, which, like, I wouldn't be surprised. But, like, damn.
Fuck it. I'm just musical chairs. Just look, tunnel vision, musical fucking chairs.
Yeah, musical chairs is in about an hour. There's one game.
What was that?
Like group like group game, like like these have been like entertainment for the crowd. And there's also the you want to walk the plank again, that's always available. You want to do some more gambling, that's always available. In about 20 minutes they're going to have carry the keg. Pretty simple keg carrying contest. Right, those things are pretty heavy, and just for those that are or may be interested, it's just going to be how far can you carry the keg, right? The strength or athletics, or, you know, if you can convince me that acrobatics might do it for you. The DC is just going to go up for each additional 5 feet you want to carry it. So long as the keg doesn't touch the ground, you can literally do whatever the fuck you want to do, right? So whatever magics or, you know, other strategies you can bring to bear, that is entirely up to you. It's can't touch the ground, and 1 person per keg. So no teaming up to win. Anybody interested in carry the keg?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right, fantastic.
All the things.
All nice. Okay, so I've heard
100%.
Yeah, Exidio will be in it too.
Personas, Piety, Cydia, Nim. It sounds like Kaz, right? Are you just out of eating competitions, or are you now like laser focused on musical chairs to the point where you need to meditate on it because you're strategizing to win this thing at this point? What's going on in Kaz's head?
Cass is thinking of every way that I can win at musical chairs. Tying a string to one of the chairs, putting ball bearings on the ground, all types of shit. But
Okay.
I'm not playing no games until musical chairs.
Okay, no games for Kaz until musical chairs. Sounds like Petunia wants to do some gambling. Is that correct? Great. Let's do this. We'll knock out the carry the keg, and then we'll say while that is going on, right, you can be doing some gambling, and whether or not Kaz is hanging out with you at that point, we will find out. Alrighty. Okay. The first check is pretty easy, right? You got to make it 5 feet. Just a
Alright.
DC 5 check, and if you're using athletics or strength, right? Then yeah, you can just roll it. If you're using acrobatics, right? Sort of explain to me what the plan is, right? So that would allow you to use acrobatics. Although I'm not going to be much of a stickler on it. I'm just curious as to what you're doing, right? If you've got some other plan, right? Don't be shy. Tell it to the group.
So, okay. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
You said they're cool with magic.
Yeah,
Like, they're not gonna. And the rules are just don't let the keg touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Get keg from point A to point B.
It's not even A to B. It's as far as you can take it.
How heavy are these kegs?
I want to fucking Misty Step. I want to just pick it up and Misty Step.
Does
Okay.
that count?
I have two slots, so I can do this twice.
Okay. Love it. Right? So we're going to put you aside for a second because they say go, right? And literally in 12 seconds, you're 60 feet away. Right? Although what I would like, yeah?
I've got another weird thing also.
Okay, hold on. Before we get to that, right? What I would like is 2 strength checks just to make sure you can carry this thing, right? And keep it, make sure you don't drop it, right?
Okay.
I mean, they're not high. They're going to be the same thing as if you were carrying it the first 5 and 10 feet. So it's like a DC 5 and a DC 10 for the second one.
Okay. Just plain strength or athletics?
Athletics would be great.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And then another.
Yep. Nailed it. Okay. So in 12 seconds, you've taken it 60 feet. Right. And you're still holding on to it.
Hell yeah.
Exidia, what weirdness are you bringing to the party?
I would like to pick it up
Mhm.
and then wild shape into a riding horse because it just it transforms with me, and then I can just run as far as I want.
Okay. I want a single athletics check from you, and it's short. DC 5. Okay.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay. So, and at this level, you can remain a horse for an hour, correct?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. So I'm just going to put a dash next to your name because there's a whole lot of weirdness going on there.
Yeah. I was sitting here like I'm definitely using wild shape, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, how am I gonna get it on my back as a horse? And then I was
Yeah.
like, wait,
Don't matter.
don't matter.
Oh
Right.
my god.
Nim, have you got anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
So my simple one is I am first going to cast enhance ability upon myself.
Yep.
So that I can have advantage on strength checks.
Mhm.
The second thing is that I'm going to start taking off my clothes.
What?
Laying them on the ground.
Mhm.
And then rolling my keg across across my clothing using my mage hand. I've talked about this. I have many layers and layers of robes and clothing and things, shawls and stuff. And so like once it has rolled over one article of clothing, use my mage hand to throw it in front of it on the other side.
Okay.
They might give me shit for that one, but I'll defiantly indicate that it is not on the ground.
Okay, look. You're correct, right? That they're
Mhm.
not excited about this, right? But one of the contestants just disappeared and reappeared 60 feet away, right? They watched the other one lift the keg up and morph into a horse, and now there's just a horse roaming around on the docks.
See, at
Right.
least I'm doing the physical aspect of this.
Right,
I'm actually
so
putting in some work.
Yeah, no, we get it. Like you're the least of our problems right now. What about Buddy? What do you got?
However far like anyone gets, the horse just kind of like goes a little bit further, and then just
Right.
like if someone gets a little, they just go a little bit further.
Just
Right.
imagine being the regular fucking guy in the situation where you have to actually just pick it up.
I
Yeah,
argue that I am barely
imagine.
on that level. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Please tell me that's exactly what you're doing, Corsonis.
I assume this keg weighs more than 5 pounds.
Oh, it
so
weighs much more than 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Love it. Let's see a DC 5 athletics check.
Yeah, I would love to do that, but we know how this is gonna. Okay,
Right?
Ooh.
Okay.
no,
Let's
it's
see a
gonna go
DC
great.
10.
no, that one I cannot give you. I'm afraid.
Right.
Oh.
There we go. Right. So
I'm not wasting inspiration on this.
right. So your three compatriots, right, have all sorts of batshit crazy stuff going on. Piety just poofed and is 60 feet down the dock. She's turned into a horse and is roaming around.
Just like
Nim,
trotting backwards, like very like show offy.
right. Nim,
hate it
like,
here.
now appears to be competing with Zardoz for how little clothes they can be wearing on the dock, and has laid all of his clothes out, right? And is using Mage Hand to like do that continual railroad track thing that they do in the cartoons, like picking up the stuff the barrel's just rolled over and putting it down, right? And like you make it all of 7 feet and are just like, fuck, man. Piety.
Yeah.
What have you got after 60 feet?
Fuck! I don't know. I have to think. Okay.
I gotta play the game.
Fuck. I mean, fuck it. Can I guide myself as I attempt to strong arm this?
You can try it, right? So let's do a DC 15.
Oh, perfect. This is gonna go really well. I can't guide myself into succeeding on that
yeah,
one, so
yeah,
I just
so
stare at Exidia as I
right.
drop this, and I'm like, I fucking hate you, and I want you to go fast.
Literally, right, you pick it up, you go poof, poof, right? And then, like, a second after you materialize, after the second Misty step, you just drop it and are shaking your hands like, fuck,
God damn.
right?
Ow.
One of the stagehands screams out, Zardoz! You guests are fucking everything up. Right? And you just hear from somewhere, right? Zardoz's voice scream out, well, give them all the prizing. Right? So he says, okay, everybody back, right? Gathers everybody together, right? Corsonis, the dude claps you on the back. Guess it's your lucky day, bud.
Sure.
Well, the boss said everybody gets a prize. Everybody gets a prize, right? You guys look like you might need to be doing some heavy lifting in the future. Here, have a belt. It's good for back support. And he hands you a big wide. It looks like a weightlifting belt.
Okay, so there's been a shower cap, weightlifting belt, pie tin.
I got a kick-ass medallion. I don't know what I don't know why y'all complaining.
Okay. While this nonsense was going on, right? Petunia, you'd like to do a little gambling. Is that correct?
Little.
Okay. We've got 2 gambling games. Spin the wheel works very simply, right? There are 3 wheels, each with numbers 1 through 6, right? You choose an amount to bet and choose a number, right? If your number shows up on 1 wheel, you win double your bet. If it shows up on 2 wheels, you win triple your bet. If it shows up on all 3 wheels, you quadruple your bet. Make sense? No problem, right? And actually, I'll explain instead of conceptually what you're seeing at the fair, I'll explain mechanically how it works. You're going to roll 3d6, right? Well, before you roll 3d6, you're going to pick either a number or any number of numbers, as long as it's 1 through 6, right? And on each one of those numbers, you'll choose an amount of money that you want to bet. So, for example, I could pick 2 and 4 and put a gold on each of those numbers, right? And then you roll 3 dice, right? And if you get a 2 or a 4 on one of the dice, you win double your bet. And if you get a 2 or a 4 on both of your dice, or on 2 of the dice, you win 3 times your bet. And if you roll a 2 or a 4 on all 3 dice, you win 4 times your bet. Okay, that's game number 1, right? Gambling game number 2, right, is pretty simple. You might have seen it at a fair before. It's just trying to chuck a coin onto a plate, right? And it's also very simple. It's actually simpler than the other game, right? You can throw copper coins or you can throw silver coins, right? If you throw copper coins and you roll a natural 20, right, then you win half of the coins that are on that plate. right? If you're throwing silver coins and you roll a natural 20, you win all of the coins that are on that plate. Which of the two games are you interested in trying? The second one? Okay. You're probably going to need to make some change. I don't know if you've got any gold or silver. I'm sorry, if you've got any copper or silver. Which type of coin would you like to throw? The copper ones where you win half of what's on the plate, or the silver ones where you win silver? Great. How much gold would you like to turn into silver? 1 gold is 10 silver pieces. Okay, so you're going to have 10 silver pieces. Do you want to throw all 10 of those? Fantastic. Roll me 10d20. Okay. Unfortunately, you have no natural 20s, right? So you have lost 1 gold piece gambling. Would you like to continue gambling? Yeah, fuck indeed. Okay.
Spend it all.
Right, says Kaz. We
I'll
trying
make
this
money
one
back.
again? Great. Roll me
The
10 more
classic.
d20.
Getting real bad out here for you.
Yeah, again. And the woman running this booth is just like, oh, sweetie, so close. Look, maybe just a little bit more wrist action. You can get a little bit of spin on it. And then it
Third
might spin
time's the
itself
charm,
right onto the plate and just stay there.
The fun thing is, it's not 3rd time's the charm. That's 30th times the charm.
Right. And once again, no D20, no nat 20s, so you are out 3 gold. Okay. It with that, it sort of sounds like by the end of this, right, you're sort of aware of the chaos that your party members are causing in this carry the keg contest, right? And you're like, I don't know, maybe I should go over there and see if I need to make any assistance with this. But by the time you make your way over, they have been awarded their belts. They're walking off the stage, and the crowd is starting to grow as they, the Sea Maiden Fair Hands, are now breaking down the stage a little bit, making room as the Sea Maidens band comes filing in. Sort of across from that, they're setting up what looks like a merry-go-round, right? It's slightly elevated, and there's a small platform that's also slightly elevated that matches the height of the merry-go-round, and the crowd's all starting to fill in as they announce 15 minutes before musical chairs. 15 minutes before musical chairs. And the band strikes up. And similar to the way they played in Troll Skull Alley, they're more talented than they are enthusiastic, right? Their effort is not high. It's almost as if they've done this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times before in various cities and towns up and down the Sword Coast. So is everyone joining in for musical chairs? Is there anyone who is not? Okay, we'll put all 6 of you into the musical chairs competition. Make some notes here. Okay, so y'all decide to, or y'all, climb in and sign up to participate. They actually, upon seeing all of you join up, right, they end.
Oh shit, it's these guys again.
Right, well, they actually close the competition, and they just say, oh, well, this is great. We've got all of Rainier's rescuers. Let's give them a big hand for what they've done for Waterdeep. And there is a polite smattering of applause. The crowd's not really interested in hero worship today. They want to see some fucking musical chairs. If everybody could make me a perception check, I'm curious about something. Okay, that's a mess.
My natural fucking perception is better than
Right. Kaz, give me a history check. Based on your or based on your passive perception. Okay. No, you did. Okay. Yeah, they're setting up. It's a little weird because they're bringing out these chairs and they're bolting them to this merry-go-round, right? But then, like, that makes sense pretty quickly because as they explain it, right, somebody gives the merry-go-round like platform like a push, and so it's spinning clockwise, and they instruct you and they inform the crowd that the contestants are going to walk counterclockwise, right, as the chairs spin clockwise, right, just to make it a little bit more difficult to clock a particular chair, right? And mechanically, this is going to be pretty simple, right? Everybody rolls a d20, right? The 2 lowest, right, are going to roll again, right, to see who wins and who loses. Make sense to everybody? And that's how we play around. Great. You see there's sort of the carnival barker type character who's doing running narration is going to be doing running narration of the contest. There's a couple of people dressed in band uniforms that have these big staffs, but I guess they're there for show. There's the band that is mechanically like working their way through not very inspired renditions of like Pop Goes the Weasel and just garbage, right? And okay, everybody, we all understand the rules. We have our wonderful heroic contestants, and away we go. And the band kicks up. One of these big fellas with the staff spins the merry-go-round, and it starts going clockwise. Everyone else, y'all start walking counterclockwise. And let's see some D20 rolls.
There's no way.
Petunia, we need one from you.
Now you said they wasn't playing this one.
Oh.
Okay. Piety and Kaz, could you re-roll
no.
for me?
There's just no way. There's
Okay.
actually no way.
Yes.
So you two are jockeying for position, right? But then you realize, right, there's actually a chair for both of you. This seems like a not well thought out game. And Kaz, as you go to sit down, the seat of this chair lifts up from the frame and lunges out and grabs onto your leg and does 4 points of damage.
Ow.
Okay.
And these two guys with the staves come running in, right? And they jam their rods between the frame of this chair and the top, right? And the carnival barker, people are laughing hysterically, right? And the carnival barker yells out, "Well, it looks like our mimic has found its first victim.
What kind of sadistic shit?
Kaz, come over here, right?" And Cleric comes out from behind the band, right, and heals you up, right? It's like, thanks for being a good sport, buddy, right? Now let's see how your friends do, right? And the two guys unbolt one of the chairs from the merry-go-round, and away we go.
Oh no.
D20s, everybody.
Adam, this is so fucking funny.
No.
Oh no.
Okay. Corshonus and Petunia. Let's see one more, Petunia. Fantastic. Now, since you know that it's coming, Corshonus, make me a deck save.
Oh, I'm great at these.
You are unsure. You and Petunia are unsure. You're pretty sure that one of the two of you, right, is supposed to sit in this mimic, but you're not. It's a mimic. You're not sure which one it is, right? You both sort of look at each other, go to sit down, and literally at the very last minute, you leap out of the way, right? As this thing tries to clamp down on you, but misses by a fraction of an inch. And the carnival barker screams, "Oh no, Marvin almost got another victim, but too quick. Maybe next time, Marvin." And they unbolt another chair, and away we go. Those of you that are remaining, D20s, please.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Boy, it's close.
Yeah, that's it. It feels like everybody's getting a little jumpy. Right. And so everybody's got like, I mean, there's only 3 chairs in the mimic left, right? So everybody's sort of got one eye on the merry-go-round thing and one eye on the other 3 contestants. But Piety and Petunia, you're just a little slower than everybody else, right? D20s, please. Piety,
Yep.
make me a deck save.
Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah, you try and get out of the way, but this thing grabs onto your arm, right? And let's see, it does 1 point of damage.
no.
And these two guys come over and they're trying to jam the stabs in there, but they're having a little bit of difficulty. And they start yelling at each other, right? And the crowd starts yelling at them. I presume you start yelling at them because you're still stuck in this thing, right? It does another 3 points of damage, right?
Ow!
And then finally they pop this thing's mouth open, right? And one
What
of
the
them is
hell?
screaming at Marvin, you son of a bitch! Like you got to calm down.
Marvin
Right.
just took a chunk out of my ass. Like
Yeah,
a fucking chunk.
And the other dude ushers you over, and the Barker's like, "Oh my goodness, Marvin almost made a meal out of what's your name?"
Piety.
Marvin almost made a meal out of pie. We'll get you fixed up, Piety. No problem. And the cleric heals you up.
Thank you.
They remove another chair, right? There's 2 chairs and a mimic left, and 3 contestants. Petunia, Exidia, and Nim. D20s, please.
Ha ha! I'm safe.
Nice. All right. Petunia.
Oh no!
And oh no.
No!
Oh no.
One more, Petunia. Yeah. Okay. that deck save, Nim.
Oh my god!
You go to leap out of the way, right? But as you turn to jump away, like one of your feet swings in sort of a wide arc and it's able to grab onto your shin. And it gets you for 1 point of damage before these guys come in, pry its mouth open. Oh, Marvin's having a good day today. Come on over, Nim. Come on over. We'll get you fixed up. And around we go to find out who the winner's going to be. Petunia, Exidia, D20. There's a chair and a mimic left. We don't need to figure out who the loser is since there's only 2 of you left. So, Petunia, give me a deck save. Same place you were making the Constitution saving throws, right? Just above the Constitution saving throw, there's a dexterity line. So, there you go. So close.
Oh no.
But 2 points of health have just become mimic food as this thing clamps onto a thigh as you're sort of doing that thing you do in musical chairs where you're sort of hovering over one chair while you're waiting for the other chair to come around, and this they just grabs hold of you. But they come over, pry it open. You go over to the clerics. We have a winner. We have a winner. And the Barker rushes over to Exidia and is holding her hand up in the air. And the crowd goes crazy. And I need to find my note. Oh, yeah. So, as the crowd's cheering like mad, they probably can't even hear the Carnival Barker, but you hear him, right? That, listen, we appreciate everybody having a good sense of humor and being good sports about this. And for everybody who participated, here's your gift to show you that we appreciate you helping to provide some of the entertainment for the evening, and he hands each and every one of you a tabard that reads, I participated in the Sea Maiden Fair musical chairs contest, and all I got was this lousy tabard. Much like the one you saw earlier this evening. Exidia, they hand you a similar to the leather necklace that Nim got earlier, but yours has a pendant of a chair, much like the form that Marvin the Mimic takes. Congratulations, buddy. It's to remind you what a comfy chair looks like in case you ever need one.
Thank you. I'm glad that I will never forget what a chair looks like from this day forth.
Well, I mean, clearly you were able to tell when your friends weren't. That's pretty good. Zardoz comes rushing over. What a wonderful show you all put on. I feel like maybe next time I should pay you. I mean, not this time, of course.
Right. I wouldn't complain though if you felt the need to do that.
You feel we owe you money, Parity?
I keep forgetting. I mean, I got a literal chunk of my ass. I cannot stress enough how much meat Marvin just took off of me.
Oh, well, I mean, Marvin's quite old. It couldn't have been that bad, and our clerics are some of the best on the Sword Coast.
Question.
Yes.
Is that just okay to have a mimic bite people in the ass when you play musical chairs?
We didn't have to play.
I didn't think it was just, mimic fucking musical chairs. That would have been some information that should have been known, right?
Tabard said I survived. Frankly, I'll be entirely honest, I thought the stakes were going to be way higher.
Did you get on that stage expecting to die playing musical chairs?
Well, in all fairness,
I expected to have to fight for it, and I draw my rapier and point it at it. I it's very clearly I am joking, but I do draw my sword.
Look, Kaz, I'm sorry if there hurt feelings, but in all fairness, no one's ever died playing. Well, I understand, right? But no one's ever died playing musical chairs here. I mean, not here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh. Yep.
I mean, we've got it pretty well refined at this point. You wouldn't have wanted to see the game 10 years ago. It was a bit of a mess.
How did you obtain Marvin? I'm very interested here.
Oh, well. Look. Marvin did eat a few of the crew at one point.
What?
Yeah, well, it's a mimic. They're very dangerous. Right? And initially we killed it. But then I had the bright idea of how we could use it to make some money. So, little spare the dying, little gentle repose, get in there, pull a tooth or 12, so it's not quite as dangerous. Bring him back, right? Keep him chained up, but feed him, treat him well, right? And he's sort of a pet now. He's sort of a nice guy. He really likes it when the crowd cheers. He really likes it.
So what are you saying is that you domesticated a fucking mimic?
Well, yes. I mean, we feed it rats and stuff. It's sort of, I mean, he doesn't really hunt. He's a little old for that.
No, yeah, curl up by the fire with your little mimic lapdog. What?
Look, he wouldn't let me do it, but some of the gnomes and halflings, they curl right up on him nowadays. He doesn't mind at all. I mean, what you saw, he's a performer as well. That's his part of the
Yeah.
performance. You understand?
Yeah. No, for sure. For
No,
sure.
I'm going to be honest. No, I don't understand that.
Well, I'm confused, Kaz. What's not to understand? He was up on stage. You were up on stage. You all had a
I
part
just-
to play.
You know, I just feel like there should be at least a warning before something like this.
Well,
I'm telling you, the one guy had a shirt that said "I survived." What part were we missing?
right. And Kaz, I hear you, but if we gave everybody a warning, where would be the fun? There wouldn't be a game anymore. Like if everybody knew, and clearly, just so you know, clearly, why do you think it's so popular? Like that's the biggest crowd we get every night. You think it's because they like to hear our band?
But you know, it's a
Pretty
good
terrible
bond.
band.
No,
It's a good bond.
Well, I'm sorry if you've got hurt feelings. Let me consider how I can make it up to you. And I'll come find you at your new tavern.
You know, that's even more concerning now.
Don't worry, I won't be providing any of the furniture.
You truly scared me.
He takes a very deep bow and, takes his hat off his head and covers his chest with it. It's one of the nicest things that anyone's ever said to me.
No problem. Oh, God.
Thanks for coming to the fair, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo!
Festivals.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna murder me in my sleep. There's just no way now. Like,
I mean, we did do him a service by appearing here and then essentially performing for him on multiple accounts. I think we are the closest that we might ever become to friends of his, seeing as the situation is as it are.
okay. Yeah, if that's what you believe to be friendship, sure.
Welcome to Waterdeep.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, are you all headed back to Troll Skull Manor this evening? Or are you all sort of going your separate ways to wherever you were laying your head prior to meeting each other?
I'm going back
Did
to the
is headed
manor.
back to the manor.
Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
guided back, Corsonis is partying until he drops.
Okay. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I want to be clear. Not yet, but like
Okay.
that's where I'll be sleeping for sure.
Great. Are we partying in the dock ward? Are we staying at the fair to just drink up here? Are we looking for a more traditional tavern.
I think here.
Yeah.
Great.
Corsonis is not actually of a mind to like go hunt down a party. There's a festival going. He's going to
Right.
eat festival food. He's going to, you know, at some point he will just
Yeah, love it.
fall over and. Well, before he gets to the point of falling over, he'd be like, maybe it's time to go back.
Fantastic. I think that is session for this evening. Thanks, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Directly 12 o'clock.